Frank, former President Trump continues to praise many of these people, to double down on his big lie. We know that Officer Dunn said Capitol Police weren't prepared on January 6th. Now, the new chief says they're in a better spot, but look at the calendar. We are just days away from this ridiculous right-wing conspiracy theory, this idea that Trump is going to be back in office in August. That is obviously not true, but are we prepared for the threat from these types of people when it doesn't become a reality?
Yeah, there's a cult like those who study cults, Stephanie, have something called forcing the end, which is when what you want to happen, what your leader has told you will happen, never happens, and then you make it happen yourself. I think that's the greatest threat of all regarding this nonsense involving coming back and being reinstated in August. To your question, I still don't see what has changed significantly about the security posture in and around the Capitol that's going to be able to push back and repel a force like we saw on January 6th. I don't see the changes in rules. I don't see changes in staffing. I'm not hearing about a roving force that was recommended by General Honore to protect the whole Capitol region. And I definitely don't see rules changed at FBI that allow them to get out ahead of the intelligence and prevent something from happening.
Mitch McConnell said he was too busy working to even watch the testimony. Officer Jones, we heard one officer say that he was called the N-word over and over during the riot. That has absolutely nothing to do with Trump losing the election. There is very clearly a white national movement tied to all of this. How do we handle it?
First, you have to get the members of Congress online. We have to get the Republicans online. And we, the people, as the Constitution states, have to be able to force our members of Congress to do the right thing. Until we make Congress accountable for what happened on January 6th, we will never find out what really happened on January 6th. And for them officers, it's a slap in the face.
More than a slap in the face, Garrett, besides some Republicans not watching the hearing, it has only been a month since 21 Republicans voted against a bill to honor those very first responders. Did any of those lawmakers feel any different after what we heard? Have they made public statements?
I've not seen any public statements with any lawmakers changing their tune, although I think it's probably important to point out that Republican lawmakers weren't the intended audience of yesterday's hearing. It's the American people, and particularly those who might have heard rewriting of history over the last several months about what exactly did happen on January 6th. If they watched yesterday, now they know. But I can tell you that the contents of that hearing did spill out into other hearings, including yesterday afternoon when Congressman Jamie Raskin pressed Andrew Clyde, a Republican of Georgia, who famously said that if you didn't know it was January 6th, the images in Statuary Hall looked like a normal tourist visit. Raskin asked him if he still felt that way after what he heard, and here's that exchange.
You know, if you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit. Those are your words.
And I stand by that exact statement as I said it.
So, Stephanie, I think the political ramifications and the way in which House Republicans, or at least some of them, I should be very clear not to speak for all of them, but some of them talk about what happened on January 6th will remain the same, at least for now.
Butch, how does that make you feel? You watched your guys testify, speak about the horrors they faced in defending lawmakers. How does it feel to hear those very same lawmakers completely dismiss what their testimony was?
I think this is an embarrassment to our country, number one. Number two is that I'm surprised, like Mitch McConnell, McCarthy, all of them had 24/7 policemen protection. How can they face them every day and say that it was just a normal day? I'm appalled that they are treating Capitol Police the way they are. They are, number one, January the 6th, they protected Congress. They allowed them to go home that night, and to turn their backs on them the way they have done since January the 6th, it's a shame before God. And they should be ashamed of themselves to represent the United States.